Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Illusions of Itehari. I was like, what are we playing? Itehari. The bird is all wet because he decided he needed to take a bath, so it's disgusting. You look like a drowned rat, but he's gonna try to snuggle with me. It's gonna be like, ew, wet against my skin. I don't like it. You're so silly looking. You needed it though. You took a Tubby's before after we got home, but you didn't get very good on your head, and your head was still covered in barf. It was disgusting. I know you still have barf head. Anyway, time flew by as we talked, and it was already nearing sundown when I left Hanagetsu. Okay. Oh my God, tablet, go away. So Yakuza said he would walk me part of the way back, and we set off down the road, stained in crimson light. Thank you so much for today, Suyakusa. Well, if it's a request from you, it's fine. We passed through the crowded central district, and just as we were about to enter the castle district... Well, I guess I should... Before Suyakusa could finish saying that he would head back to the shop... Okay, I don't know who's saying this to him, but somebody... Oh, what's this? Fancy seeing you here, Hanagetsudo. You're actually outside! And here of all places! Okay, that's go the fuck away. It's not you. No, not you. You can come back. Come back. I wasn't talking to you. Stupid, seriously, like, yes, that's nice. Ad blocker is updated. Yes, you told me that, and I closed it, and then you popped up again. I hate that! Because it always pops up when you're trying to type something on your fucking, like, computer or and it's like, hey! And you're like, I'm in the middle of typing something. Fuck off. Seriously. Oh my God. Like, go away. It's irritating. But, like, don't keep popping the fuck up. You're as annoying as Norton. I appreciate Norton, like, you know, protecting my computer, but also, like, Jesus Christ, stop with your scammy pop-ups. Like, did you want to No. No, stop it. Anyway. So, who's talking? Oh, my God. Little baby face. Little 2 foot tall. A young boy I didn't recognize suddenly appeared in front of us. Oh, my God. Is this your sassy lost child? Oh, it's you, Saku. Is he a friend of yours, Suyakusa? The cute boy with delicate features grinned and bowed to me. My apologies for not introducing myself, milady. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Saku. So, he's got to have a cute voice, because we don't have any character that has this voice, so now he does. Spacey, you know about archivists, right? Archivists? The ones who gather information around the city and record what happens? Exactly. Saku is a popular archivist who's often under the employ of noble families and the associates all over this fine city. He's like talking about himself in the third person. It's weird. Saku's brain is a treasure trove of rumors, called upon during investigations into anything from surf quarters to marriage candidates. Well, he does good work. He's just greedy. Wow, it's an honor that Saku's talents are held in such high regard by Suyakusa of Hangitsudo. Wow. Suyakusa of Hangitsudo is very hard to fucking say. This boy really does all that? But he's so young. As I stood in surprise before the young Saku, he lowered his voice as he spoke. You got into quite the scrape yesterday, didn't you, milady? All that trouble at that empty spot. See, why do you know about it? Your ladyship couldn't possibly have carried that injured man up back all by herself. Oh, well, that makes sense, too. That's true. We did drag an unconscious man, so somebody had to have seen that, and we did call for a carriage, so fair enough. But how do they know about the fight unless we told someone? She probably told someone. Don't you think it was just so convenient that there was someone walking nearby? Wait, did you? Oh, don't worry about payment. Not this time, that is. Saku waved his hand in a playfully dismissive gesture as he cut me off. Still sus. Saku wouldn't be able to sleep at night after forcing you into a bad deal like that. This first job was free, but from here on out, Saku will be asking for the appropriate payment, milady. I understand. Thank you for calling for help yesterday. And if there's anything else I need, Saku, I'll be sure to let you know. Great! He gave a carefree smile and bowed deeply in response. That still seems sus as fuck. So Lord Suyakusa is going to take him in. That's a relief. It is. Aoyuki seemed unaffected by the good news, but I trusted that he felt relieved since he'd been somewhat worried about Yoshiro. Yoshiro found a place to stay, and Suyakusa has some extra help. And Aoyuki isn't mad at me for the way things ended up. Everything turned out so well! However, since Yoshiro's memories hadn't returned, I decided I'd go and see how he was doing tomorrow. I thought to myself as I lay down in bed. Then, that night, I had a dream. Spread out before me was an endless variety of beautiful desserts and treats. Everything looked so sweet and delicious. I want to eat it all! I couldn't stop myself from indulging to my heart's content, but even in my dream, I knew all too well that if I wasn't careful, I'd pay for it later. Interesting. Oh, Chapter 2. Shadows of Malaise. 3 days later. Today's breakfast was rice porridge with salmon roe in soy sauce and wasabi, and bowls of persimmon tofu salad and braised burdock. That's a lot. Say, Aoyuki, after I'm done with today's work, can I go see how Yoshiro's doing? When I brought it up, Aoyuki's expression became noticeably disgruntled. Once you return a lost cat to its owner, you're absolved of any responsibility toward them. You got him a job and a place to stay. Don't you think that's enough? You don't need to do anything else for him. In response to Aoyuki, I said, oh, I still feel responsible. I'm still curious. She probably feels responsible, but I'm also curious, so I still feel responsible. Okay. Affection with Aoyuki up. Oh! That's why we turn the affection system on. You tell me all the time that I'm responsible for any creature that I pick up. Well, that's true, but... Aoyuki continued, still looking upset. Stop getting distracted by this new guy and take responsibility for me, too. Oh! Look at you get a little jealous and feisty. I love it. Huh? I was a bit surprised by my attendant's response. I'm not getting distracted. I'm sure I still spend the most time with you, Aoyuki. He responded firmly with a serious look on his face. It's like so funny, like, take responsibility for me too. You're like, I spend time with you. Girl, that is not what he meant. And that's how it should be. Unlike the lost cats and birds you find, you've kept me by your side all this time without letting me go. Ever since I was little, he had always said that he was taken in by me. But he had already been serving the Eastern Fifth for as long as I could remember, so I was pretty sure my parents were the ones who took him in. Interesting. Still, he always insisted that it was me, so I decided to accept it instead of delving into why he thought that way. Oh no, so that's gonna be an interesting little plot point in his backstory, like why he thinks that. Or why it's true and we forgot. I know mine is a special case, and that things are unlikely to change from here onward. Aoyuki was right. He was very special to me, and that would never change. Well, when you're done with what you need to do, you can spend your afternoon as you please, just like always. I think you've become a fine family head, handling your duties diligently each day without complaint. And you don't just ignore your territory or leave its management to your servants. Thank you, Aoyuki. While I considered it a natural part of my everyday life, being praised for it did make me happy. But that's not the issue here. We don't know what kind of person Yoshiro is, and we have no idea what his past is like or where he's from. At the very least, at this point in time, I can't say that he's someone appropriate for a noblewoman to befriend. You don't have to get too friendly with him. If you notice anything that raises concerns, be sure to let me know right away. He spoke, not hiding the fact that he had his guard up against Yoshiro, but... You're worried about Yoshiro too, aren't you, Aoyuki? I'm sure it's difficult for someone if they've lost their memories. And he did save you, so if he lost his memories because of that, I feel responsible too. I feel the same way, so that's why I want to check and see if he's doing all right. Aoyuki's brow furrowed with frustration, but he didn't argue any further. Then how about you bring something for them? It must be tough for Lord Suyakusa to suddenly have a freeloader staying with him now. I actually just prepared a milk jelly dessert for you. I've filled it with different fruits. That would be perfect. The way he prepared it was so delicious that I was always tempted to eat the entire batch on my own. Gazing at me as I smiled so naturally at his suggestion, he sighed in defeat. That's because, again, this man will do anything. And it's not just because master-servant relationship. It's just he's that much of a doormat for us, and I'm kind of here for it. After finishing work and lunch, I headed off to Hanagetsudo as planned. Hungetsudo. It's going to take me a while to get some of these names down. Hungetsudo. As I walked down the street between the 6th and 7th divisions, near the boundary where the Castle District and the Central District met. Oh, this road is blocked off. Take a detour that way. Some steam soldiers had blocked off a road on the 7th Division side and were shooing people away. It's probably not a spiriting away, I think. Okay, now we have spiriting aways. There didn't seem to be a fright or anything of the sort, since I didn't notice any commotion. And yet we're not going to talk... Are we going to go back and discuss what that means? As I wondered what it could be, I decided to continue toward Hungetsudo in the 6th Division. Hungetsudo. I don't know why my brain wants to add extra vowels in there. When I arrived at Hungetsudo, Suyakusa and Yoshiro were drinking tea together, perhaps having just finished lunch. Suyakusa poured some tea for me right away and properly set out the milk jelly I brought for them. See, now these are flowing fine. I don't know why the other ones weren't. Maybe it just needed to set in. I don't know. Or when it goes like that because there's like a text box sort of along the side versus along the bottom, those flow. But when it's the text overlaying the screen, it's super janky, stupid slow. I don't know. I scooped out a portion of it with strawberries and asked a question to Yoshiro as I brought it to my mouth. How's life here? I know it's only been 3 days so far, and I'm sure there's a lot to get used to.
Suyakusa's treating me very well. I've managed to memorize where everything is in the house. On my first day, he taught me where everything was until late at night, about what things were and what not to touch.
I didn't expect Yoshiro to be so used to Hungetsudo by now, but he spoke with a smile on his face. Well, it's not for your sake. I got a lot of things here that are used in machinery. It'd be no joke if any expensive or important parts were broken. I go out of business. Suyakusa looked somewhat exasperated, but Yoshiro continued with a smile.
Right now he's having me just do simple tasks, like cleaning the house or making deliveries.
Are you okay? You're very fidgety. You just went potties before we came up here, so you're fine. But, are you okay? You just can't get comfies? Yeah?
Also, I was surprised there was such a mountain of books on this desk. I borrowed a few and I've been reading them.
Well, that kind of thing can be a trigger in getting back your memories. And Yoshiro's memories of what's common sense is spotty, so we surprise each other at times. But he got along with the neighbors really quickly, so it's not that inconvenient for him to be here so far. I see. I'm glad to hear that. I felt relieved to learn that he was doing better than I thought.
Thank you. If it's all right with you, milady, I'd love it if you came to visit again like this. When I see your face, I just feel I might remember something.
Really? Then I'll visit as often as I can. Oh, Ayuki's gonna cry. Suyakusa's like, I like you visiting often, but not for this bastard. We got 2 jealous side pieces here. It's kind of fun. I glanced over to see Suyakusa looking disgruntled. Suyakusa? What's wrong? Well, I'm happy if you'll be coming over. But I just feel conflicted if you're here for Yoshiro. Really? I tilted my head in wonder, not quite understanding what Suyakusa was feeling. I can't begrudge her for being derpy and oblivious to the boys being in love with her, because I would absolutely be the same way, and that is standard for most main characters, where they do not comprehend that. I get her not realizing Yuki's in love with her because, he's better at hiding it, to be fair. But also he's your butler, so, him worrying about you and being a little about Yoshiro makes sense for his job responsibilities, But, her not getting it. But in this case, you got 2 guys who are jealous of Yoshiro. You should figure it out. I would not be able to, though. But none of the MCs are ever aware There was like, my best friend, he does everything for me, and like, I don't get what he's saying, and it's like, oh, you so clueless. Again, I would absolutely be the same way. So I'm not like making fun of her for that. I do find it funny. But she's got boys all around her like fawning, and she's totally clueless. Oh, by the way, on my way here, I saw the Kurozuru had blocked off the road to the 7th Division. I was going to say district. God, I can't read. I wonder what might have happened. Have you heard anything, Suyuko-san? No, this is the first I've heard of it. But it does seem like the Kurozuro's been hanging around a lot more lately. So I'm wondering if there have been more cases of people being spirited away. I want to know, like, the being spirited away, like, we're just now mentioning it, but, like, what does that mean in the context of the world in this game? Because you know it's not going to be, like, standard spirited away mythology, you know? But it's still noon. People are only spirited away at night, so they could have been spirited away last night.
What does spiriting away mean again?
You forgot that too? Spiriting away was a phrase even children knew. If you forgot even that, it would likely take some time for Yashiro to regain his memories. To put it simply, criminals are captured and banished from Itehari into the abyss. That's not really... So, spiriting away is someone who is a criminal was banished into the abyss. That sounds like they were chucked over the edge. That's a little kind of fucked up, and maybe that's why there's not a lot of crime here, because when somebody gets injured or there's a crime, they chuck them into the abyss. Like, damn. The abyss, the lower layer of Itehari, the abyss is where sinners who have been spirited away reside with their descendants. And we're going to find out the truth of Itehari and all this, so it's kind of curious about what this really is. The abyss is right below the city, and as I was answering, the door to Hangitsudo opened. Sorry, Suyuko-san, I've got something to ask. Oh, I see your ladyship is here as well. Please don't mind me. You have something you need to ask, Suyuko-san? The young man apologetically bowed his head, then turned to Suyuko-san with an appeal for help. The truth is, I got into a fight last week with Yata from the bookstore. Huh? That's odd. You both get along well. Well, I bought some of that Castella cake he likes, wanting to go and apologize to him. Would you mind bringing it to him? It's just so awkward for me. Hang on. You should give him that yourself. If you think you've done wrong, you should give it to him and apologize in person. Come on, Suyukusa, please! When the young man begged him, Suyukusa let out a sigh. Fine. Thanks, Suyukusa! After handing over the package, the young man bowed his head again as he exited Hangitsudo. Pay up front.
Suyukusa, I didn't know you took on requests like that. I thought you'd turn them down.
Well, Suyukusa really cares about those around him, and money is money. I'd normally turn something like that down instantly. It's a special case this time. That guy pays well, so it really helps me out. We both talk a lot since he likes machinery, too. And I just thought it'd be better for the future if I took the job. Plus, I have some help now.
You're talking about me, aren't you?
Who else? Take care of it, Yashiro. The bookstore's not far, just in the 7th Division. I got some work I have to finish that's near the deadline, so I'll be here.
Got it. If you're trusting me with this job, I'll do my best to meet your expectations.
If it's in the 7th Division, it's on my way home. I'll come with you. Huh? No, you don't have to. I'll draw a map for Yashiro, so you don't need to worry about him. And you just got here. How about you relax and stick around for a bit? No, I shouldn't bother you with your deadline so close, Suyukusa. Do your best today. He's like, you could hang out with me, and we're like, no, that's fine. She's so clueless. Oh, right. Yeah. Suyukusa nodded awkwardly and somewhat sadly in response. He's just... He just wants you to hang out with him, and you're always like, okay, whatever, bye! Oh. I had a thought that perhaps the destination of the delivery was in the same area blocked off by the Kurozuru. It looked like it was still closed off, as the Kurozuru was continuing to turn people away.
Was this a problem? I wonder when we'll be able to get through.
I suppose that's up to the Kurozuru. I've wondered what made them close the road off, but even if I asked, they probably wouldn't tell us when it would be open again. I mean, is there only one road into the 7th Division? It's like, because it's the one like, oh, this road's blocked, but you can go around the other alley and walk through, and you just can't get to that certain strip of road. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't it be bad if we snuck through?
Yes, it would.
What to do? Are there any other roads leading into there?
What about going as far as we can down the alley, and if we can't go any further, we'll give up?
Good idea. That might be best.
After Yoshiro agreed with me, we set foot into a narrow alley off the road. That's what I was saying. There can't just be the only... I mean, I guess there's main roads and then there's, like, little side alley things, but, like... It's kind of like, you know... Do we get a map? I had a fairly good sense of direction around the 7th Division. After a glance at the map Suyakusa drew, I had an idea of where the bookstore was. So, we proceeded through the alley without running into any Kurozuru officers. The residents must have locked themselves in their houses, as we were only met by silence as we walked through. We were proceeding down the quiet alley when Yoshiro furrowed his brow slightly.
I have a feeling we're being watched by all the houses. I wonder if the Kurozuru ordered everyone in the area not to go outside.
Say, Yoshiro, I know we've come this far, but maybe we should head back.
Huh? Our destination's really close, right? It's not like we passed through any roads that were closed off.
I mean, seriously, because you would close off the alleys as well. But maybe we're somewhere we shouldn't be. After thinking for a moment, he smiled.
All right, then you head back first, okay, milady? I'll go and deliver this.
Huh?
I'll come right back. Just wait for me on the main road.
Yoshiro! I tried to stop him, but he ran off in an instant, and now you're leaving me behind, and now I'm stuck in an alley. What should I do? Should I go after him? But it might be better to wait outside the alley so as not to risk losing each other here. As I thought to myself and turned around... Uh-oh. Kid with the knives? Oh, new boyfriend! Oh, new boyfriend! CG! Oh, hello! An impact shook my body, and a white flash appeared before my eyes. Yeah, see, the fact that they all have swords, and then Yoshiro has... But the thing is if he was a Kurozuru, you'd think, what's-his-face? Can't remember his name. Hotness would have recognized him, right? Behind me, someone's arm wrapped around my shoulder so tightly that I couldn't move at all. It's Sexy Boy. This is what's-his-face? I don't remember his name, but, like, Hotness with the flirty horror voice, so...
Huh. I thought we closed off all the roads.
A voice close to my ear spoke with a hint of playfulness. Like, he is absolutely fucking gorgeous. Like, let's be real.
You look lost. Not a local, perhaps. How did you get in here?
Through the fucking alley that you left open? I just walked in? I replied honestly, my voice shaking. This alley wasn't closed off, so I thought we could come through.
So, who are you and where are you from?
I'm Spacey of the Eastern Fifth.
Huh. You shouldn't lie, you know. A noblewoman from one of the 7 houses would never be seen in an alley like this.
7 houses, the 7 families that are ranked highest of all the nobles. The lower their number, the higher their rank. The heroine's family is of the Eastern Fifth. What? They are? Glad they don't... Like, they tell you this at the end. Like, where you already kind of figure that out. I'm telling the truth. I can prove it. I have my seal. The man fell silent, seemingly amused by the situation. He relaxed his arm, which until then had held me close to him. I mean, he can hold me as close as he motherfucking wants. Like, look at him, God. Once I had regained my freedom, I took out the seal of the Eastern Fifth. Here. You think the 5 is the 5 little cone-looking prongs? Because otherwise, it's not the recessed part. You know? I don't know. After gazing at the seal for a few seconds, he looked back up at me and smiled gently, his eyes the color of lapis lazuli.
You seem to be the real deal. Sorry for doubting you, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. This alley should have been part of the Kurozuro's blockade, so it's our job to keep any rats from wandering in. Not even the great Taiju can imagine a noblewoman among them. Well, you're still at fault for behaving in a way that you should have known was suspicious. Right. I apologize. Be sure to think about what you did.
I felt irked by his condescending tone. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to need you to punish me. Like, if he's going to be like that, yes, put on glasses and punish me. No glasses on any of the love interests. Disappointing, but the young man continued to speak, still smiling. You were definitely like, you would be the bastard bespectacled boyfriend, but like in not the like, I'm like a cold bastard. You'd be like the slightly douchey. You got the flirty whore voice, not because you're like a playboy, but because you like to play with me like you're a cat and I'm a mouse, and not like, you know what I mean? Like, not the flirty whore. Like, oh yeah, I got girls left, right, front, and center. It's the like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck up your shit. Like, slight trash. But not really trash. But you know what I mean? In the Venn diagram of all the, there's an overlap there, you know?
I'm Yori of the Western Second. As you can see, I'm with the Kurozuru.
The Western Second? Wait. Is the other dude his, like, relative? Because isn't Hot Guy? What was his name again? God, hold on, let me go back to the beginning. Like, the guide thing. Suwabuki. Isn't Suwabuki... Wasn't he the second?
Is there something you wish to say, milady? Your face tells me there is.
No, there isn't.
You don't have to hold back, you know. If something's bothering you, I'll listen.
Lord Yori, you knew I was a noble from the beginning, didn't you? I was sure my clothing made it clear that I was. Even at first glance, there was no way my outfit could be mistaken for otherwise. Yeah, he just wanted to hold us closer. So see, he's a little bit of a bastard, but in a good, it's just such a fun, playful, naughty way. He's little, you know, I could understand people not liking him, like, goddamn, what an ass. But I'm like, goddamn, what an ass. That's the kind of shit I like. Please pin me to the wall and call me names. Put on glasses when you do it, though. That makes it hotter. People are already afraid of the Kurozuru, so it wouldn't do to agitate such fears without good reason.
Are you trying to say I did that on purpose to scare you?
Yes. Is that not the case?
It's like, no, I just wanted to hold you close.
As I asked my question, Lord Yori smiled.
Finding a noblewoman in a place like this just came as a surprise. Don't you think a bit of teasing is fair? I feel like you still want to say something. It's all right. I just honestly say whatever it is you're thinking.
Lord Yori, even though I knew I shouldn't say it, I couldn't take it anymore. I think you should worry about your personality instead. That's a bitch slap with words, and I love it. Oh, that's gonna be fun. What? For some reason, he burst into loud laughter, and just as he did, Yuri and... Is it Hot Dude? Oh! Are you guys related? Wait. Again, isn't he part of the Western Second or whatever where a second is? Wasn't he part? Are they brothers? Can we get in the middle of this brother sandwich? Doesn't have to be my brother. It could be Yuri's brother. It could be the brothers together. I'm fine with that. That'll work. I mean, I'm just saying. Lord Suwabuki suddenly appeared. I mean, this man's fine as fuck. Lady Spacey, what are you doing here?
The lady seems to have found herself in an area we closed off.
Please forgive me for interrupting the Kurozuro's work. No, I'm only glad it was no serious matter. Allow me to escort you to the main road. Lord Suwabuki gestured me forward, and as I began walking, I asked him a question. It's unusual for the Kurozuro to close off roads in the middle of the day. Has something happened? I cannot disclose that information. However, we will undoubtedly resolve the issue. So please rest assured. Of course. Seeing the sincerity in his gaze, I couldn't help but nod. I mean, I like the fact that we're flirting with this man. He rescued us from our love interest. This is not how it usually works. There's usually some guy who's being a dick and who's like, yeah, whatever. Like, and then our love interest comes sweeping in nobly and is like, I'll escort her to the road, and then don't worry, I'll take care of everything. And you're like, all right. Like, their roles are so flopped. Like, the man harassing us is the one we gonna bang. The man saving us, we just get to, like, drool over from the sidelines? I'm not saying I'm not here for it. It's interesting, but it's not usually how it works, you know? I mean, there's always a side character we drool over. Don't get me wrong. That's standard. Okay, but like, you know, our love interest being a dick is standard too. We always get the trash. And there's always someone who's a little bit of an ass. But like, it would usually in this scenario be our love interest who saves us. Nobly and wonderfully, stoically. And no, but I can't, but the game's like dangling this carrot in front of me, making me run on the treadmill for it? Rude. Anyway, seeing the sincerity in his gaze, I couldn't help but nod.
Huh? Lady?
Yoshiro's carefree voice echoed through the alley. Seeing Lord Suwabuki and Lord Yori silently bringing their hands to the hilts of their sword, I quickly interjected. I know him. He's no one to be suspicious of. Although on second thought, probably was suspicious for someone who wandered into a closed-off area to claim to have lost his memories. Lord Suwabuki gently defended me against Lord Yori's snide remarks as they escorted the both of us to the main road. And again, Yori would normally be like the side character who's like such a dick and then like, oh my god, and he's the one harassing me or being an ass, and Suwabuki's the one that has to like jump in and stop him from being a douche, and he's my love interest. But like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, but we do like to date trash, so this is fun. Once they did so, they immediately returned to the alley. I thought to myself that something really serious must have happened. I did not expect to meet Yori like that.
I'm sorry, milady. It's my fault you got into trouble.
It's okay. I'm the one who suggested we might be able to go through that alley. And if we hadn't gone through that alley, we wouldn't have been able to meet hot trash, but I don't know that he's trash, but he's got a little bit of an attitude, so he's a hot attitudey bitch. Okay, so I'm cool with that.
I appreciate you'd say so. I imagine it'll be trouble now that you've caught the eye of the Kurozuru.
It'll be fine, I think. The only reason we got inside the restricted area in the first place was because it wasn't properly blocked off. Lord Suwabuki seemed apologetic about it. I didn't consider what we did today to be a crime. And while I don't personally find the Kurozuru scary, just like the Kanri officials of the Ryue, they had authority in Itehari. The major reason that people were intimidated by the Kurozuru, wow, we gotta stop saying words I can't pronounce, was that anyone without the right connections to vouch for them could be spirited away. The Kurozuru was given that executive power. But see, that's the thing, they're just spiriting people away. If you don't have that seat, that is just like, you're gonna go missing. It's like, oh, you're not rich enough? Missing. What? You know what I mean? Like, anyone without the right connections to vouch for them could be spirited away. So, like, Yoshiro's got us as a connection, but if he didn't have us, they could just chuck him into the abyss just for not remembering shit. That seems a little fucking cray-cray, okay? So we're kind of seeing, like, are you not seeing how shady and weird the world you live in is? You're like, whatever! Because you're a rich bitch, but I feel like everybody else is like, oh, one step away from being chucked into the abyss. That's terrifying. Okay. A lot of real-world implications there. Don't like it. That's why I'm not so worried about myself as I am about Yoshiro. If anything happens to you because of today, be sure to tell me about it. So she's like, I'm rich, so I don't have to worry about it. But you, Pops, you fucked.
Sure. Thank you, milady.
Yoshiro smiled, seemingly not worried about much in that moment. Something's gonna happen, he's gonna get well... All of our boyfriends are in Itehari, so it's not like we're gonna find out what's on the surface or anything. I don't think. Have we met everybody? Let's see. Have we met everybody? I think we're missing... Are we missing a boyfriend? We're missing a boyfriend. Yes, we're missing Tabari, who's one of the first ones that we can, like, date. But it's interesting we haven't met him yet. Huh. Yeah. But out of concern that something else might happen, he escorted me back home. You've come all this way. Would you like something to eat?
I'll have to pass. Sayakusa's waiting, and I'm not sure I can face your attendant today. I'd be happy if you invited me over another time.
Sure. Oh, do you know the way back?
I should be fine. I just need to go back the way we came, so it'll be simple. If I get lost, I'll ask someone on the way.
Yashiro smiled gently, facing me and waving his hand as he left. The Kurozuru had a blockade up in the middle of the day today. Before bedtime, Aoyuki was brushing my hair as always. And I'm just gonna say, like, this also makes Aoyuki 10 times hotter. The man brushes my hair. Like, do you know how nice it feels to have your hair brushed? He ran a boxwood comb through the length of it, then carefully tied it into a loose braid. Then something unexpected might have happened. All right, that should do it. Thank you. It couldn't have been a spiriting away, could it? Roads are usually blocked for spiriting away at night and reopened the following morning, before noon at the latest. I don't think it would take past noon for that. You didn't see the mark? No, as far as I could tell, there wasn't one anywhere. Houses that underwent a spiriting away were marked with the arrow fletched with white feathers. Well, I've heard rumors that they haven't been able to keep up with the cases of spiriting away. Maybe they were running late to respond to this one. Okay, this doesn't make sense, though. They haven't been able to keep up with cases of spiriting away. But it said that a spiriting away in this world is basically when you're like a criminal and the Kurozuru comes, grabs you, and chucks you into the abyss. And they do that at night. So why can they not keep up with the cases of spiriting away? Unless by keep up with the cases of spiriting away, it's not, because it sounds like when they first said maybe it was a spiriting away, right? It's like, oh, they're investigating somebody magically vanishing. You can't keep up with the cases of people magically vanishing. Sure, that makes sense. But this is they can't keep up with all the people they gotta kidnap and chuck into the abyss. That says that there's a lot more crime going on than you're really paying attention to. There's no crime, everything is great. Is it though? If the cops can't keep up with the amount of criminals they gotta chuck into a pit? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't that sound a little sus and weird? Like, you know? Really? Soyukusa mentioned that there have been more Kurozuru soldiers around lately. In either case, you don't have to think about it much, my lady. Don't I? Shouldn't I be concerned? It was true that since I wasn't part of the Kurozuru, I didn't have to concern myself in their work. Okay, yeah, but you should concern yourself with what's going the fuck on in the world you live in, not just your tiny little district, because it does impact you what's happening in this city. As a member of this city. It impacts you what's happening in this world as a member of this world. You know, there's things that you can't control, right? But she's a rich bitch. So rich bitches, and being one of the 7 houses, means you have way more control over some of this shit. But, you know, it's like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about it because I'm rich and I'm cool. I'm protected in here. But you know what? Maybe you should be worried about it because you're responsible for the people in your district taking care of things and whatever. So the cops just grabbing people and chucking them into the abyss, like, whatever, I don't have to worry about it because they're not going to do it to me. That's some fucked up shit. Okay? Like, that's a level of privilege that, like, you should be able to see through and go, you know what? That's kind of fucked up when you say something like that, you know? Like, and you don't have to concern yourself with it. I mean, I might. People are just vanishing. And if they're just vanishing for other reasons aside from what the game told us, that's concerning because that means anybody could vanish. But if they're like, you don't have to concern yourself that a criminal got chucked into the abyss. I do if there's an awful lot of them and the cops can't keep up with it. Because what's the deal with that? You know? And I was almost stabbed, so technically, I do have to be concerned. But I was a bit dissatisfied by being dismissed from the situation so abruptly. Now that I think of it, is there something else? I mean, I get Aoyuki being like, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, because he doesn't want us getting involved and getting hurt and whatever. Like, he's trying to protect us in a weird way. So I get that, but it's kind of a weird thing. You always wear gloves when you touch my hair. Doesn't that make it difficult? Maybe he did it so my hair wouldn't get caught around his fingers. He's just like, I wouldn't be able to stop touching you. But as I thought to myself, his expression turned serious. It's only natural that I do. You're of noble birth, and I'm a commoner. But be it even a single hair, I mustn't ever touch you directly. That is just so sad, and so angsty, and so ridiculously hot at the same time. Okay, seriously? Like, I'm just gonna roll around on the floor and all of the things that is. Okay? Because it's like, I mustn't ever touch you directly. Wow, that's very proper, and it's kind of sad. And it's kind of like ridiculously like melancholy, because like, you know, he wants to, so you know that there's some pining there, and then you're like, God, it's so hot, because like, at some point you are going to touch me directly, and it's going to make it hotter. You know what I mean? Like, damn it. Damn. I wonder whether servants of other families were so differential in how they interacted with deferential with how they interacted with their masters and mistresses. That said, I knew he would simply reply that others had their own way and he had his, so I decided to politely stay silent. That night, even after pulling the covers over myself, I still couldn't manage to fall asleep. I found myself still curious about what the Kurozuru was doing. If something happened that forced them to close off streets in the middle of the day, what could that something have been? I can read. An answer failed to come to me no matter how long I dwelled on it. Eventually the night silently passed. The next day, after finishing my work, I stepped outside and ran into someone entirely unexpected. As soon as she said entirely unexpected, I was like, this is who I would entirely unexpect to expect. Yes. Ah, milady. Before my eyes stood the smiling figure of Lord Yordi. It was clear that he wasn't just passing by coincidentally, since he had completely set foot onto the estate grounds. Good day, Lord Yordi. I greeted him properly, all the while feeling some anxiety at the thought that he might be following up on yesterday's events. It saddens me that you're being so defensive. I wanted to see you, so I worked hard to find the time to pay you a visit. I mean, I'm just saying, abso-fucking-lutely? Like, you can come visit me anytime, but also it's a little sus as fuck, and you're so playing games with me, but like, what the fuck ever. I'll get Twister out, sweetie. We'll have some fun. Lord Yuri was smiling sweetly, but never in my life had I heard a more obvious lie. Then I'm glad you caught me on my way out. Nice to see you again. Good day. Lord Yuri's grin grew even wider. I like the fact that she's like, yeah, whatever, bitch. Instead of being like, oh, okay. She's not fawning over him. She's like, yeah, not falling for that. Listen, I was questioning, like, at the moment, we're doing good. She's always very positive and stuff, and you wonder if it's like how naive she really is. But to be fair, I feel like there's a lot of stuff in the world that everyone's kind of naive about, you know, and rich sheltered girl even more so. And not really her fault in that scenario, but at least she's got some common sense where he shows up and he's like, what's up? And she's like, yeah, not falling for your shit. She's gonna fall for his shit, but, you know, I like that right now she's like, okay. I came all this way to see you. Yet there's actually something in this world that takes priority over me. I mean, I've got a whole long list of men, Jesus. Of course, because of our relative positions, I couldn't outright refuse Lord Yuri of the Western Second. Lord Yuri of the Guys, I swear to God, I am not drunk, but I'm reading like I am today. If you have time, would you perhaps care for some tea? Seeing you so insistent leaves me no choice. I suppose could spare a bit of time for you. He's so playing with us, and she's like, not even. Oh my God. I suppressed every emotion to keep my anger from spilling into my expression. I love this, though. My lady? Seeing me return with a blank expression on my face, Aoyuki looked at me quizzically. Immediately afterward, he noticed my guest and froze. He's like, ugh. It's been a while, Aoyuki. Huh? I was surprised that they knew each other, but as I looked at them, neither provided any explanation. Oh, I can't wait for this, though. I think I'm in the mood for coffee today. I shall have it prepared immediately. I stood there completely bewildered as Aoyuki awkwardly bowed his head. So how does Yuri know him? There may have been a breach in our security, but the only ones who got past the blockade were you and your friend. Most citizens know better than to attempt an entry in spite of our clear efforts. Do you agree, milady? My apologies. Lord Yuri's coffee remained untouched, continuing to get cold as he rehashed the events from yesterday. Since I thought it would only make Aoyuki worry, I hadn't mentioned that we were issued a warning by the Kurozuru. I never expected that it would be revealed to him in this way. He's like, God damn, every time I let you out of the fucking house! He is gonna put us in a cage! And rightfully so! I'm just saying. Aoyuki stood quietly behind the sofa where I was sitting, simply watching over me. He's like, I'm not letting you be alone with a man. One is probably of whatever time period is very much like, women cannot be alone with men. They will defile you. Sure, great. And Aoyuki is absolutely like, even if that were not like the of the times thing, I would not fucking leaving you with this bastard. Fair enough. Because he is a bastard. But like, Aoyuki also got some personal beef with him, possibly. They know each other, so probably personal beef. I would expect there to be personal beef because it's Yuri, for God's sakes, and he seems like everyone's got personal beef with him. He is starting personal beef with us. Like, seriously? On top of that, you had the nerve to criticize my personality when I was in the middle of my job. What sort of education does the Eastern Fifth give its family head, I wonder? I'm terribly sorry. You're supposed to be watching over her, right? If you can't manage her properly, why don't you just put a leash on her? I'm sorry. Everything about this is so wrong and so right at the same time. The look on Yuri's face, that pissed off look, it's like, that is so ridiculously hot. And there's a part of me that wants to be so mad about you're supposed to be, if you can't manage her properly. Excuse you? And they put a leash on her. I'll allow it, actually. Oh, God. Oh, dear God. We should. Oh, my God. Aoyuki's like, what the fuck? Don't tell her about the cage. An irrepressible rage began to boil out of Aoyuki in response to Lord Yuri's tactless remark. I mean, Yuri is kind of a fucking asshole. In the middle of the thick tension, why are you here? I absolutely, she would not stay silent. She would absolutely, like, I feel like she'd say that. I want to say that. Yes. The Aoyuki affection. Why are you here, Lord Yuri? I'm wondering if being silent gives you points with Yuri. I pushed Lord Yuri to hurry with his business, and he returned his gaze to me. It may have been my imagination, but his smile looked more sarcastic and mocking than before. Yeah, I do think it's very interesting that he sees us in the alley. He doesn't just grab us like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, she's a noble lady in an alley. Let me fuck with her. Is there a reason for that aside from you're just a dick? You're like, pretty girl, let me fuck with her. Okay. Is it like we knew each other at some point and I just don't remember you? And you're like, I remember you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a reason, or you're just that much of a bitch. I don't know. But, like, I feel like it seems very much like his prickly personality. And then, no, it's not really prickly personality because that's like somebody who's just like, oh, well, standoffish, whatever. He definitely is like he does that to fuck with you, and then you're like, oh, whatever, you did that. And he's like, oh, I like fucking with you. I get the responses I want, and you throw shit back, and this is fun. Like, he likes to instigate and light the fire, and we're not helping. We throw gasoline on this fire, and he's just reveling in it over here. So, my lady, Awayuki spoke worriedly, but I gave him a small nod to tell him I was all right. Having to deal with Lord Yuri and the other nobles was my job.
Well, I really just came by today to check up on you. And to apologize for scaring you, of course.
And it's like, you don't believe a word of that. Lord Yuri smiled, watching me as if he knew I didn't believe him.
But from the beginning, I never had the slightest intention of hurting you, you know.
Then why did you draw your sword? Awayuki's over there like, there's gonna be a fight. Are they gonna fight? I want them to fight. Awayuki responded to my remark even before Lord Yuri did. Oops, that might have been too much for Awayuki.
I may have unsheathed it, but I was careful. I told myself to be absolutely sure not to hurt you.
He can draw his sword on me anytime, and I mean that literally and metaphorically as well. As he smirked, I remembered what happened. We're gonna flash back to the CG. Yeah, look at him. Oh, God. It was true. He wasn't pointing the sword directly at me. Considering the situation, no matter how much I struggled, or even if Yuri's hand slipped, I suppose you were being careful not to hurt me.
You'll understand now.
Yes. I nodded. Is it possible that Lord Yuri isn't such a terrible... No, he's still terrible. Was there any reason for him to pull his sword out and threaten me?
By the way,
Lord Yuri's smile widened as he asked his question.
It seems you know Suwabuki.
Oh, yes, Suwabuki, my lady.
When did you get to be such good friends?
Good friends? I didn't remember that ever happening, so I wasn't sure how to answer. I've seen Lord Suwabuki a number of times at the assemblies. He's usually present as the family head. I've spoken with him once, but that's all.
Uh-huh.
Wait, are you jealous of the man we can't even date? I'm just gonna pretend. He's like, oh, I found this fun little plate thing, and then all of a sudden Suwabuki shows up, and you're like, wait, why are you friends with him? Either you don't like Suwabuki, or you're just pissed because you're like, wait, she was my plaything, and then you're friends? Does that mean... That's not cool. I wanted to mess with her, you know? I don't want to know. I feel like they've got to be somehow related, because they're both from the Western Second, right? I feel like they are. Lord Yori's reply felt somewhat different from his flippant attitude a moment ago. Yeah, you jealous.
I've stayed much longer than I intended to. I'll be heading back now.
Lord Yori smiled as he stood up. The coffee was left on the table, untouched throughout his entire visit. After seeing Lord Yori off, an awkward silence fell over the both of us. Awayuki, I'm sorry. Awayuki closed his eyes with a pensive look on his face. Then he began to speak quietly. You've always been full of curiosity since you were little, and I've felt at times that Itehari might be too cramped for you. But if you're to continue living here, you need to be careful about not being seen as the odd one out. Okay? Awayuki wasn't angry, just conveying his sincere feelings. It's very weird that he phrases it as, if you're going to continue living here. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the implication of that is like, if I'm a little odd or curious or I don't go with the status quo, A, B, C, and dot every I and cross every T, you're going to chuck me into the abyss, and then that says a lot about the society here because that makes me question shit. Okay? Even more so than I was before. All right. Or if you're going to continue living here, it's the don't let people know that you don't belong here and that we pulled you up from the gutter and now we're just masquerading as a rich girl. Shh, don't tell them that, little orphan Annie. You know what I mean? Did I not belong here? Was I actually not originally from here? You know what I mean? I don't know. Coming or going, which way is sus? Maybe both, maybe all of it, I don't know. Everything's a little sus about this world, to be fair, but... Aoyuki wasn't angry, just conveying his sincere feelings. I'm sure you think I can be a pain since I'm always nagging at you about things, but... I understand. You're only saying those things for my sake, Aoyuki. I'm sorry. I'll be more careful from now on. Aoyuki looked somewhat relieved by my apology, but... Even if it wasn't your fault that you've become acquainted with Lord Yori, it's still unlucky. I just hope that this doesn't lead to trouble. I'm pretty sure banging Yuri is trouble, but I'm here for it. When he put it like that, I felt as though there would certainly be trouble in the future. I would soon discover that our fears were well-founded. Ooh, dun dun dun. 3 days later, after inspecting the surf quarter, I went to visit Hangitsudo. Huh? Suyakusa, are you alright? You don't look well. His face was clearly pale as he slowly strained to turn his head toward me. Spacey, it's terrible. Yesterday, someone from the Kurozuro suddenly barged in here.
The person we both ran into. Remember, milady?
Lord Suwabuki or
Lord Yuri?
I was like, Lord Suwabuki, come on, somebody busted in here and it's making everyone sad? It wasn't Suwabuki. I see. Again! You'd think the way Yuri is acting is like a raging psycho side character. It's interesting. And Yashiro doesn't remember anything, right? So now he's considered a suspicious person of unknown identity. Even if he didn't mean any harm by it, he still went somewhere that the Kurozuro meant to close off.
It's not as though I'm here to charge you with a crime. I only hope you're willing to prove that we can trust you.
I mean, is Yuri doing his job? Yes. Is he doing it in the most dickish manner possible? Also, yes. I mean, you're like, hey, you were in a closed-off area. We just gotta ask some follow-up questions. Sure. But he's being a fucking biatch about it. And to be fair, I feel like if he wasn't there and Suwabuki was the one who found us, he would have been like, okay, yeah, that's our fault, but okay. And he might not have come and done any follow-up. Yuri is cuckoo bananas.
Oh, I don't mean through bribery. I'm not in need of money. I want a show of good faith that you're both upstanding citizens working for the sake of Itehari, with no intention of rebelling against the Lord Taiju. I heard that Suyakusa of Hangitsudo is always working with nobles, so if anything, this should be a very easy task.
And we don't know what'll happen if we refuse. We're already suspicious of Yashiro, and I'm sure they'll find something to accuse me of if they look hard enough.
Sorry for causing you all this trouble.
While he didn't seem particularly discouraged, I felt he honestly regretted what was happening. So, what did he mean by a show of good faith to prove your innocence?
There's something he wanted us to help with. The first is...
Yashiro shut his mouth before he finished. Yashiro? He didn't answer. His eyes pointed toward the door that led outside. Just then, the door opened, and the person who came in was... this bitch.
How's your progress?
Well, it's not like we can figure it out right away. It was a case that could be solved if it was a case that could be solved in a day, you shouldn't have even bothered to ask us.
Oh, you're here too, milady. What a coincidence.
Suyakusa was grumbling some complaints, but Lord Yuri either didn't hear or was simply ignoring him as he spoke to me. Good day, Lord Yuri. Good day, sir! I bowed my head and greeted him, after which he suddenly looked as if he had an idea.
Milady, this is a secret, but since I'm worried about you, I'll let you in on it.
What?
Recently, there have been these strange incidents occurring around the city.
Strange?
We have been ordered to handle things quietly, so we've had to silence anyone who's been unlucky to know about it. However, I suspect rumors about these incidents will spread faster than they can be resolved.
You mean you won't be able to hide it?
Right, and that's because
Lord Yori's eyes narrowed as if deep in thought about something. I'm questioning his telling us any of this. Like, we have some things that we're trying to keep secret, and you're telling me why? I mean, obviously, main character, plot, but still, why?
these incidents are still ongoing. Victims and witnesses have only been increasing in number.
Interesting. Lord Yori's expression was all smiles, but I felt unease grip at my heart.
Oh, by the way, I hear it was you who found the mysterious Yashiro, but didn't bring him to the Kurozuru, milady.
Sorry, that just slipped out. Yashiro smiled awkwardly, not knowing what to do, but it felt to me I had no way out now.
You know, I can't exactly say that's exemplary behavior of a good Itehari citizen.
This isn't very much a police state. It's very scary. Like, you're like, everything is wonderful here, and now we're being threatened by the cops. Because we didn't bring a guy with amnesia to the cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, now things are starting to get a little darker here.
But I'm sure you're not thinking of plotting anything sinister against Itehari, are you?
Of course not. I already imagined this was how Lord Yori would respond if I answered this way. But I had no other choice.
Then I'd like you to help me too. And of course your attendant will also share your responsibility by default.
Yeah, see, this is a lot of blackmail and threats and scariness. Lord Yori smiled as he spoke, and I responded, "That's absurd!" I feel like we have to say understood. But should we say, "That's absurd," so we don't want Aoyuki to be responsible? We just say understood, okay? Yeah, you know, that makes... I wanted to be like, saying, "That's absurd," so we were trying to protect Aoyuki, but at the same time he'd be like, "How dare you? We will do whatever." Like, he's trying to keep the status quo, so... Understood. I made my decision and nodded. I'm curious about the incidents Lord Yori mentioned, too. I was bothered by the idea that I was essentially forced into helping. But if something was happening in Itehari, I did want to do something to help resolve it.
Very good. I like girls who are nice and obedient.
Oh, we can play that game, but there are going to be other times I'm going to pin you down, motherfucker. Lord Yori nodded in satisfaction at my reply. Hey, wait a minute. Can you not get Spacey involved in this too? What would you do if she got hurt because you asked for her help? Depending on the severity, you could be held responsible with the Kurozuru and find your career in jeopardy.
You're pretty impertinent, aren't you, Suyakusa? Do you get told that a lot? Of course I have no intention of putting her in danger, so I wish you would just relax.
I hope that's true. I wasn't sure why I felt this way myself, but I didn't feel much confidence in what Lord Yori just said. Ooh, back home. And Aoi, we're like, so I got myself into more trouble. Aoyuki is never going to let us leave the motherfucking house. If he were smart, he'd have built a cage and he'd keep us in it. And he would just put bars on the windows and the doors and be like, you cannot leave this house. This house is your cage. You cannot. You can open the window if you want some, like, fresh air and sunshine, but bitch, you ain't leaving. Like, like a gate or a giant cage around the, like, the grounds so I can go outside, but I'm in, like, a giant cage, because he's like, girl, every time you leave the grounds of this fucking mansion, you get into some shit. So, anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.